here goes nothing. Lake's bringing bikes inside. I'm doing a dyno run on the Mototech Switchblade. It'll be fun getting that thing up on the dyno. This thing is an absolute beast. It is so big. I think I got just the rear motor on. Looks like we have just 2 power modes, and then motors can be rear motor, front motor, or both. Pretty sure I got it set right. Let's see what we get out of this beast. Oh boy. Remember how I told you this was supposed to be like 4,000 watts? It's a little more.
It's always the best answer I'm looking for.
2,600 watts on just one motor.
One motor.
So it's gonna be over 5,000 watts, and I got like 65 pound-feet of torque.
Wow.
So it's gonna be like 130 foot-pounds.
That's pretty impressive.
This thing's actually gonna be fast. This is gonna be a little scarier. This thing's faster than I thought it was. 65 pound-feet, so 130. Oh boy. This thing is gonna fly up the hills. 2.67 kilowatts. I just did a video on the Awesome the Awesome SR1. Had a ton of fun on it. This has more power on a single motor than that did on both. That's a big difference. 2.67 times 2. 5.34 kilowatts. I was not expecting that. It isn't gonna bump our all-time leader, the InMotion RS, but it's the closest we've been. 130 pound-feet of torque, 5,340 watts. That's more torque than any e-bike with pedals I've ever tested, and it's right about the same torque and power as the HMP Lightning scooter. So we're getting into the moped light motorcycle category with that much power. I guess I gotta go ride it now. I'm gonna wear a good helmet today. First thing I'm gonna point out is that the screen was not very accurate as far as speed goes. It's in kilometers an hour, not miles per hour. But even the kilometers were quite a bit off, but they did make it very easy for me to figure out the speed, because the kilometers on the screen were basically reading almost exactly double our real miles per hour. So if we hit 50 on here, we're going 25 miles an hour. 100 on here would be 50 miles an hour. Hopefully you get the idea, and that will give you an idea of what sort of speeds we're hitting on the road. So we have this switch over here, which I'm assuming is rear motor. One of these is both. One of these is just the front. I don't know which one's which. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But I know all the way left is just the one. So it's in park. Looks like you squeeze the brakes and let them go. That gets it out of park. And then this button changes your mode from 1 to 2. And that's pretty much all you get here. Oh, we have lights, which, that's a bright light. That's nice. So it looks like we got low beam, high beam, I'm guessing. Looks like it. And that is a functioning brake light. Not super bright, but it's there. So we'll put our lights on and let's cruise around. Oh man, these bars. Kind of wish they came up higher. They feel so low after some of the other scooters I've ridden. Oh, that's dual motors right there. Okay, I got it figured out. All the way to the right is both motors. All right, so let's point out one of the bad things about it. The suspension is hard. It is really stiff. That's definitely something that could be improved. I'm not gonna take this thing off-road. It has big fat tires. It looks like it might do it well, but I don't think I would have much fun with that. The suspension is just so stiff. It's got like these coil-over shocks, so it's not like it's impossible to upgrade. Yeah, you didn't use your turn signal. I didn't know where you were going. Throttle response feels a little jumpy at first, but I think I'm gonna get used to it. There are no turn signals. You just have your headlight, tail light. Ooh. I think for around town riding, a single motor or turning the power down to 1 might be wise. Let's try 1, see if that helps. Yeah, that helps a little bit. That eases the power on a little more. Oh, let's go to the steep hill. Oh boy. Dorky. That's not even level 2 power. But this is... Okay, I'm easing it on. Now here, this is it. This is full power. So like I said, half the speed, so if I had if that hill was longer, I think I would have gotten up to 30 miles an hour. You gotta be real careful to ease this throttle on because it wants to go. I'm gonna bump it back down to 1. And then I'll hit it back up to 2 after this next stop sign, because then I don't have to stop for a little while. Whoa, even 1 is fast. It's like there's a little lurch, and then it feels like it rolls power on real smooth. Oh, I really gotta put my visor down. Can I ride this thing one-handed? Usually with scooters, that's a bad idea. I'm not gonna risk it. Visor down. All right. There we go. With as much power as this has, that didn't seem like it was smart to try that, so I didn't. Okay. Whoa. Why did you stop? Okay, we got a couple bumps right here. I hope the suspension does okay at speed. Okay, that actually kind of rolled right over that. I mean, the tires are huge. They're so wide. Big diameter. I'm glad because that helps the not so great suspension feel a little better. It's kind of hard for me to see how fast I'm going because oh. Whoa. Speed wobble. Bad speed wobble. Whoa boy. I was about to say, we're about to hit 50 miles an hour, and then I got a speed wobble. I'm gonna have to take it a little slower on this till I get a handle on it. I hope there's a way to prevent that speed wobble from happening. That one took a little bit of effort to get back under control. Alright, so that's about 40 miles an hour, and it feels fine. It feels rock solid. Okay, we're coming up on 45. Still feeling good. We got a nice wide shoulder right here, so I'm going to use it. I was going down a little bit of a hill, so maybe it was a balance thing. And no speed wobble under braking. That's good. Oh. A little bit of tire slip, but not much. The tires are so wide, you got a ton of traction. That really helps it take off. It feels kind of heavy in the turns.
So on a motorcycle, you do what's called countersteering, and you really turn the opposite direction. You do it on a bike too, but it's not as noticeable. You turn the opposite direction you're going to go. That forces the bike into the turn, and you kind of do the same thing on a scooter, but it reacts very differently because the wheel diameter, the tire diameter is so small in comparison. And then how much you lean the bike over versus how much you kind of shift your weight over is the other thing that affects the handling. And I feel like some scooters, you want to lean over to the side, lean over to this side, and that's where they like it. And other ones, it feels like the scooter itself wants to be leaned while you stay upright. And just finding that happy medium at different speeds sometimes is what you got to do to get the handling down. And what I'm feeling like is that this scooter prefers to be leaned to get into these turns. So I'm leaning the scooter a little more as opposed to me kind of hanging my weight off to one side. And then it's not inducing the speed wobble. That's just my experience. Your results may vary because speed wobbles are very subjective based on your stance, your rider weight, tire pressure. There's so many different factors that change that. Just because it's working for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you.
So what are my final thoughts on the Switchblade here? One, the price is very reasonable for how fast this thing goes. Retails for $25.99. You can usually find it for a little bit less than that. And the battery is big. It's a 60 volt, 28 amp hour. So that means you can either just have a lot of speed, or you can have a lot of range, or you can have, you know, a compromise of both. On power, this thing way over delivered. I was very surprised by that. Normally when something says 4,000 watts, you're lucky to get right about 4,000 watts. But this thing's seeing way over the 5,000 mark and 130 pound-feet of torque, which is a really nice surprise. This thing is gonna fly up any hill you try and take it up. And something I didn't show you yet is that yes, it does come with a seat, which of course has some height adjustment to it and is really comfortable. Now, I noticed that the handlebar position when I was standing felt a little low, but on the flip side, when you're seated, it feels just right. So if you're thinking about a scooter that you're gonna sit down on, the seat does help quite a lot. And because your weight is further back, maybe the front end suspension wouldn't feel quite so stiff. So maybe they're expecting more people to use this in a sit down position. I don't know, like I said, out of all the scooters I've ridden, I still feel like I prefer the handling maneuverability when I'm standing, so that's the way I chose to ride this one around. Now, in my defense, I did try to adjust this front suspension as much as I could, see if I could make it work any better, and nothing I did really helped. So unfortunately, out of the box, there's just no way to get that suspension a little softer. It's just gonna be a little tough. If you're looking for an off-road scooter, maybe I would look elsewhere. But if you're just sticking to streets and they're reasonably smooth, this thing is a ton of fun. Very torquey, very fast. Again, very, I think, reasonably priced for the size of the battery you get and how fast this thing can actually go. You are getting a 5 amp charger, so charge times are gonna be about 6 hours because that battery is pretty big. Some scooters do charge faster than that, but that's pretty normal for most e-bikes and scooters on the market. The scooter is a little bit heavier than some of the others. It's a little bit more of a tank, but it's kind of part of its fun or some of its appeal if you want something that just looks big and beefy and has massive tires with tons of traction. Then you're gonna be drawn to a scooter like this and not some of the smaller ones that I've ridden. Now, because this is a Mototech product and we are a dealer for Mototech now, we can get these. So if you wanna ride one, try it out, and you're local to Grass Valley, of course, you can come try out this one, the same one I used in my video. And if you're anywhere else in the country, you can always order it from us. We're happy to ship them out. But overall, dollar for dollar, This is a very high torque, very powerful scooter for the money. Not a lot passes it up, and at least those that I've ridden cost significantly more money. Definitely take a look at the Mototech Switchblade. I think you'll have a lot of fun on it.